So we are the Pipelettes of Concorde, a group of young cinema lovers who gather at Concorde to watch films in advance so we can share our opinions and interview directors when they come to present their films. We saw your film a few weeks ago and really loved it and recorded a podcast on it. We are very happy to meet you and to be able to interview you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So this film is your first feature film. Can you tell us about what brought you to cinema and to become a screenwriter and a director?
I always wanted to be a storyteller. When I was in high school, I saw myself as a writer. And then when I was 18, I noticed that the cinema is one of the best platforms to tell stories. And I also was a movie buff. I watched a lot of films back then. And I decided to try to go to a film school, and I got accepted. And then when you're in a film school, your teachers ask you to make films, and you usually start with short films. So I did a lot of short films. And then I met Raha, who came 3 years after me, who is a filmmaker herself. We did In the Land of Brothers together. But we did a lot of other films together in different fields. Like I did assisting her, she did assisting me. She played in my films, short films. I played in her short films. And then we did this feature together. So it was the story of how I became a filmmaker.
Okay, thank you.
So what was the starting point for writing the script for you and your co-writer?
With Raha, I think the starting point was the fact that we decided to do not make films for a couple of months, because we did this short film and it was very energy consuming. And after we finished the short film, it's called Solar Eclipse. We finished Solar Eclipse. It was the beginning of COVID, and we decided to not do anything regarding films and try to be focused on some other things. And then after 2 months, I think we both started to receive and have many different ideas about films, and we started to share together the kind of ideas we had. And then after a couple of weeks, we noticed that this story really came from our heart, and we need to be focused as much as possible to this one. And we started to make some drafts and share the story and the drafts together. It was the curfew, COVID time. We used to work with Google Docs remotely, and we wrote in the morning and we called each other in the evening talking about the stories. So it was how it started.
Okay, thank you. Are these stories inspired by real events or maybe real people?
Yes and no. It's something between reality, documentary, and fiction. The first drafts was I think all came from our brain, and it was totally fiction. But we both born and raised in Tehran. We had a lot of experiences with the Afghanistani refugees in Iran, and the second, third generation of Afghanistani refugees actually were born and raised in Iran. They supposed to be Iranian, but they do not have the citizenship. But we were going to school, we were playing the street. It's they're like Iranians. So we had a lot of experiences and shared activities with them. And I think we brought those experiences to our stories. But since I think after we finished some draft, we started to make a very long research about the stories and about the situation. We read a lot of books about the situation, watched a lot of documentaries. So I think it's something in between.
Okay, thank you.
You were born in Iran. Why did you choose to tell the stories from the Afghan perspective?
I think when you're talking about discrimination is something universal. And when you're talking about discrimination, sometimes there are levels, there are hierarchy, even for discriminations. And when you want to tell a story in Iranian society, there are a lot of issues that you can talk about. There are a lot of stories that you can discuss about. But what we noticed and we didn't like was the fact that the Afghan refugees does not have the agency of telling their own stories, because it's really hard. Making films is financially not very affordable for most of people. It is really expensive. You need to have a lot of licenses to shoot a film. And we noticed that there are not many films about the refugee situation in Iran. And we thought it's a very good idea to choose this as our premiere film, as our first film subject. So, and I also think by giving voice to the minority, to the minority of your society, you're doing something very powerful, pro-justice. And I think this is the second reason.
Thank you.
So our next question is more about the direction of the movie. So why did you choose to divide your film into 3 distinct parts with 3 characters?
When we started to do this research, we noticed something really interesting and also sad. We noticed that this kind of discriminations stayed in a time capsule. And I mean that it happens even before Iranian Revolution. It happened even before Iranian Revolution 50 years ago, and stayed like that. It never changed. I think even for discriminations, they sometimes change in a different way. You have different type of discrimination, but with this situation, it's mummified. It stayed somewhere for, it's like it's been there forever. And for us, it was really strange. And we thought we need to cover a time period with different characters, because we had this inside joke with Raha that if you wanted to talk about this kind of discrimination, it would be a TV series with many sessions and many seasons. But this is a thing that you cannot put on one protagonist. There are a lot of problems. You cannot put all of this on a protagonist. So our idea was like, we need to choose different protagonists and follow them. And we create this extended family to follow. And I think the second reason was we was very fascinated by the concept of Sisyphus, the myth with the guy who cursed to have a stone and push it toward the up of the hill and leave it to stone to come down and do it again and again and again forever. This chapter's situation is portraying this Sisyphus situation by doing this thing from one generation to another generation of refugees again and again and again. So that was the 2 main reasons for choosing this and following different periods of time, different characters.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
So regarding symbols, we have noticed that dogs are present in at least 2 out of the 3 sequences that make up the film. Could you enlighten us on the symbolism attributed to this animal, and maybe tell us if there are other elements, figures that you have placed as a common thread in the 3 segments during the film?
Yes, I think dogs are in older generations. Dogs were considered as less than, like they're part of the society that believe that the dogs are. How could I describe this? They're not caring about them. They're not as precious as they need to be. So And also we have this terms underdog in English. It was the whole story and the whole meaning about this dogs being there. I think it was about seeing things inferior, like having the idea of the something or someone is inferior than me. I think that's the connection. Also, I think there are like some other elements in the film. We try to show this social class fight in the second chapter by framing those two different rooms. I think it was even in our international poster.
Right behind you.
Yeah, exactly. It's even in French. I heard that there's like two different rooms, two different ambience.
Deux salles, des ambiances.
C'est ça.
So I think that's the concept also. In the third chapter, the wind also, it's very windy, the third chapter. The wind is representing, I think, the death, the soul of the son who was martyred in Syria, who got killed in Syria. And there are a lot, I cannot remember all of them, but we used to talk about with Raha about these elements in the film, and with our cinematographers also.
Thank you.
We were really impressed by the acting of the cast. How did the casting process go?
It was a very long process. So we didn't want to use Iranian actors because it's a story of the Afghan refugees, and doesn't mean to use Iranian actors in the film as the Afghan refugees. We decided to cast Afghanistani artists, and after we decided to cast non-professional actors because we thought it's gonna make it very fresh and very sensitive, and like sometimes non-professional actors have some kind of links to the story that makes it so fresh, and you can feel that the acting is actually it's not acting, it's living the story, not acting in the story. So we decided to choose non-professional actors, and there's I think there's a small theater in Tehran which is dedicated to the Afghanistan refugees. Every weekend they come to rehearse theater, film, to study. It's an artistic center for the refugees. So first we called some friends, and then we went to this theater, and we auditioned part of the community of the refugees there, and they all told us that we have this nephew, niece, daughter, son who wanted to play in film. They're very passionate about cinema. Do you like to audition them too? And we said yes. So I think with all of our actors, like the key members of the cast, we met them in the third round with the family suggestions, and then we had a very long rehearsing together. I'm really happy that you like them. I think they're really talented.
Yes.
Qasem is still in Iran. He lives in Tehran. But the character of Layla and Mohammed and Marjan, also the Hania, which she's not here, but she played the deaf girl in the film. They're all in Germany now. I really wish them to follow what they like, and I think they're gonna be, if they want, they can be very good actors in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. So your film is truly unique, but were there any other artworks that inspired your work on this movie?
What we did with Raha, we watched and we handpicked a lot of pictures either from the painters or photographers or frames from different films that we liked. So we had like around 1,000 frames to talk about, because also our composer asked us to provide him with some frames, also our cinematographer. We did this and we discussed in different rounds with our editor, with our cinematographer, with our composer, which frames links to which chapter and if we need to keep it or not. So I think that was really inspiring, because we used to talk a lot about the pictures, like even with our actors. We talked a lot about the feeling of the characters, the framing, even the camera angle, the color of the frame. It was I think the most part of our creative side. And also we watched a lot of films. I remember every night we watched at least one film and discussed it with Raha, analyzing the story, analyzing the characters, analyzing the directing of those works. I think these were two main source of inspiration for us.
Okay, I had a question. Did you go on the places in which you shot?
A lot.
Okay, before the set. Okay.
So we had this. So I think we've been to 12 different cities because we didn't know where to shoot. We just had, as I mentioned, like 1,000 pictures, and we wanted to find our own locations to create the frames that we want. So we split to two different groups. I think it was with my assistant director and set designer. Raha went with the cinematographer and production manager. It was like 12 cities, and then we shared pictures together. I still have those pictures from different part of the Iran, different part of Iran. I remember the greenhouse, the greenhouse in the snow. It is different with the greenhouse that we see the inside. And we found it when we were heading back to Tehran. And I clearly remember that I was like so tired and I was about to sleep, and I saw this view of the greenhouse inside the snow. It was like snowy everywhere, and we just stopped the car and we went to the owner and we talked about the filmings. And some of them was just magically happens like that.
Okay, thank you. Very inspiring.
So in its form, your film is very impressive. What were the central ideas or specific angles that guided the direction of your film?
First of all, I think of working with a duo, with a co-director, can be very challenging. Could be very challenging, but also if the chemistry works, it's very rewarding. I think it pretty worked with Raha. We made this short film together, and since then we noticed that we have this chemistry. I think the question was about what inspired us, or how.
If you had what were the central ideas or angles?
Okay, yes. I think we didn't have a central idea, but I think what really helped us to make it the way that you watched was the fact that we were so persistent and we were like very disciplined about what we wanted. I remember that we passionately discussed everything with our cinematographer and editor and with Raha, and what we knew was like we wanted to show the characters and protagonists as smart as possible. We wanted to show something beautiful, we didn't want to, because when the film is sad, usually the way that some directors take is make the picture also sad with the grayish color, with the low-key lighting. We decided to take as the opposite way. We tried to make it as beautiful as possible. I think it was the central idea of the cinematography of this film to be beautiful. But other than that, there wasn't any like specific central idea. It was just watching works, good works, being inspired, talking to inspiring people, and having experienced collaborators inside the crew.
Okay. Also, your film has a strong political context, rooted in reality, and you chose fiction to tell this reality. What do you think is the strength of fiction compared to a more documentary-like approach?
I think both documentary and fictions are so powerful, but I think we humans are really connected to stories. Everything we do is connected to stories, because we all know that we are going to die, and we all know that probably this life could be sometimes very annoying and dull and not inspiring. So with the invention of storytelling, I think we inspire each other. Even when we gossiping about someone, I think we are just making in a story, right? We keep doing this almost like every seconds. We are telling each other stories. I'm telling you stories, now you're telling me stories. So that's the power of fiction. It's very the core concept of human essence. And when you're telling a good story, you can change. Because that is something that human beings are really connected to.
Thank you.
Your film features a strong political issue, and you shot it in Iran. Did you encounter any resistance in making this film?
No, it wasn't much more resistance there. But also, I think we did a good planning to make this film, because, in Iran, you need to have a shooting license. You need to declare that you're gonna shoot, and you need to have the license. It is, I think, universal. Everywhere you need to ask for a license if you want to shoot, probably. You need to tell the police that I'm gonna work in the street or blah, blah, blah. But in Iran, specifically, you need to submit your script for having the license. So then, because of that, the censorship comes in, and so they can just not give you the permission, because it's against what they believe. Sometimes filmmakers believe something else, and the people inside the government believe something else. So it can be you can encounter some resistance, but in our case, we did it in like a short film. So in short film, it's easier because there are a huge surveillance upon feature films, but it's not that surveillance upon short films. And if you ask for short film permissions, you can do it easier. And it was doable for us because we shot the film in different seasons, and we shot 3 times. So we just pretend that we're doing a short film.
Okay.
Before ask my question, I just wanted to return. I really like 2 scenes, especially when the boy and the police officer. It was so creepy. You really improved that scenes. That was really
when they were
impressive.
alone together.
Yes,
in the basement.
Yes, that was really impressive. And to the scene within the wall with the two rooms, two ambiances.
This one.
Yes, it was we can feel the sadness at the top.
Yes.
And the happiness. It was congratulations.
Thank you so
I
much.
really like this scene.
So to add something, this was Raha's idea. So Raha found this location, and I was somewhere else. And when she found the location, she sent me a picture, and she told me this is the framing that we're gonna use. We had this idea from the beginning. I think I have the even the picture, the first picture Raha sent to me somewhere. But yes, this is I think this is very powerful because you're telling your story without making a cut. Everything is here. You can just turn around your eyes and like see happiness and sadness all together. And regarding the other one, I think the actings are so good that makes it creepy and special because both Muhammad and Hajir, the soldier, did a very good job. We both noticed that when we shot that scene, both Raha and I was like, wow, they're doing very good.
Thank you, and I'm going to ask my question. Is the film going to be, or has it been shown in Iran?
Not yet. Also, you need to have in Iran a shooting license and then a showing license. So when you shoot the film, you need to send it again to the government for them to decide if it's possible to show it in Iranian theaters. And for obvious reason, I think this film is not gonna. It's not gonna get the permission to be shown in Iranian theaters. But also, I think sooner or later, version would come to online platforms, which, thanks to technology, give access to a lot of Iranians to watch the film. But not in theaters.
Thank you.
You were awarded at the Sundance Festival. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How was your film received in America?
You need to ask this to from Raha because Raha was there. I was in Paris. I couldn't attend, but I talked to a lot of American friends about the film, and also I received some emails from like some people who found my email address somewhere. And with Americans, I think they really liked it. And what was really interesting, and it still is interesting for me, that they didn't know about the history of the American invasion, although it's not that much old. But I think we gave them the idea of what happened when you raiding a country, bombing a country, and occupying the country, and then retreating like that, because also the kind of retreat that happened was like very shameful and opened door to Taliban to took everything. We had a very nice discussion about the history of Afghanistan after American invasion with the audience, I think. Other than that, I think they were very curious about the refugee crisis, because the United States also has this, not mainly with the Afghanistani refugees, but they have a crisis with the refugee crisis with the Latin America right now. So I think they were also curious, like what happens in other countries about this. Iranians also more considered as immigrants themselves. There are a lot of Iranians moving out of the country, moving somewhere else. But usually people doesn't know about the background of the Iran as a country who accepts refugee and immigrants itself. Iran is actually accepting a lot of refugees from the neighboring countries. So it was like something between history class and like sociology, and also talking about film as an art.
Okay. So you were kind of gathered by the love of cinema and history.
Yes, so Sundance is basically for cinema lovers. Like the people who love art house cinema mainly go there, and you can usually they have a very good understanding about cinema. They're very curious and smart,
Open-minded also.
open-minded also. So you can talk a lot about films with them, and we talked a lot regarding this film with some people who went to Sundance.
Okay, thank you. We saw that you are working on the new feature film called The Heart of Flames. Can you tell us a little more about this future movie?
So I don't know if it's gonna be the next project or not, because I'm also working on a short story right now. You cannot define what is your next project because it's very linked to financial matters and producing part of the project. But Heart of the Flames is a horror film. It's I love to make genre films. This is an ambitious project that I try to make it happen. And it's a horror. It's about a reporter who receive a mission to go to a small city to make a report, but like some strange things start to happen to her life, in her life. This is what I'm working right now.
Okay, so that's completely different from what you just did in this movie.
In terms of genre, yes. In terms of concept, no. I think it's also still related to the concept of the identity and background and borders, and so conceptually, it's this one in a horror way.
Okay, thank you.
I just have another question. Would you like, if possible, work again with the same actors of this film?
So this is the thing that I really think about. I wish that I have some very good story to share it with them, and ask them to join us for another film. I think that collaboration was very inspiring still for me, and I would love to do it again if I have something powerful to share with them.
Okay. So that was all for us. We
Thank you so much.
asked all of our questions.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks to you.
I just wanted to say that this is very interesting what you do, and I hope that you have a very good archive soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.